Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to sqadia.com. My name is Mohammad Usama, and we are talking about probability and distribution in medical statistics. This specific lecture in the series is going to be about continuous and normal distribution. So, in this, we're going to talk about and look at the continuous and normal distribution and what they are, and we're also going to talk about how to convert a different type of distribution to a standard normal distribution, and we're also going to talk about how to calculate probabilities for standard or normal distribution. So let's start off with the continuous probability distribution. As the name suggests, it is not discrete, it is continuous. So the variable is going to be continuous. So the binomial and Poisson distributions are discrete distributions followed by discrete variables that can only take a limited set of values. For example, if we take a look at the coin toss example, so there we had two discrete variables, 0 and 1. 0, for example, no heads, 1 head for one coin toss. But here, if I talk about height, now height is a continuous variable and it can take any value, any form between its minimum and extreme value. So for that, we can use continuous probability distribution, and that is the right way to use it. So I guess continuous probability distribution would be most suitable for that sort of variable. So continuous probability distributions are distributions that can take any value between the given limits. For example, if I talk about height of 1 to 2 meters, so it can be any value from 1 to 2 meters, or not just 1 and 2. If you consider a histogram of a continuous variable, then we can imagine making the intervals bins on the x-axis smaller. So let's take a look here. Now this graph actually is an example of binomial or a Poisson distribution. But if we keep on adding more lines or more bins on the x-axis, and these bins would start to become smaller and smaller, because we are going to start treating that variable as a continuous variable instead of a discrete variable, and it would become so narrow, the bins would become so narrow that it would look more of a continuation than a different type of bins stacked together, and it would start to look like this bell-shaped distribution, which is actually a continuous or normal distribution, as you would see in the next slide. So the histogram of the data would then begin to look like a smooth curve, which is also known as the probability density. And here you can see these are the data values, and now we are adding more and more bins to that same probability distribution, and you can see less bins, even greater number of bins, even greater number of bins, and now here there are so many bins that it has started to look like a curve instead of different bins or rectangles stacked together. So that is how a continuous probability distribution looks like and is used for continuous variables. Now, how we interpret continuous probability distribution. So there are infinite number of possible values for a continuous variable, and the probability of any specific value is 0. So the height of the frequency curve cannot be taken as the probability of a particular value, because as I already mentioned that the probability of any specific value is 0. So how we interpret the probability of any value or of the continuous probability distribution. So probabilities are determined by measuring the area under the curve between two values. For example, here in this example, we have 160 to 170. We are not looking at the specific value for 170, because that's not how it works. We're actually looking at the area that lies in the region of 160 to 170, and calculating that area, we get the probability of 0.1359 and so on. So that is how the continuous probability distribution is interpreted, unlike the Poisson and binomial distributions. So since the whole curve represents all possible values, the total area under the curve equals 1, which is the greatest possible probability, which means that event would occur always. So for example, the area to the left of the mean for a symmetrical distribution is 0.5. That is the probability of a value less than mean is 0.5. So for example, mean would be somewhere around in the center. So the probability of the area to the left of the mean for symmetrical distribution, or the probability of value less than mean, would be 0.5, because the area on the left hand side to the mean would be actually the half of the curve, or half of the probability is continuous probability distribution. So that would give us the 50% probability, or 0.5 probability for that specific event, which is probability of a value less than the mean, which is 0.5 or 50%. So normal distribution is actually just like a continuous distribution, but it is a bell-shaped curve with 0 in the center and positive values on one hand and negative values on the other hand, and that is called a standard normal distribution, as you can see in this picture here. So the normal distribution is a continuous probability distribution that has a symmetrical bell-shaped, and there are infinite number of possible normal distributions depending on the mean and standard deviation in a specific situation. So here's the formula which we can use to calculate the normal distribution. It is characterized by this specific mathematical function, and here x is the coordinate on the x-axis and y is the probability density. However, the formula is not needed in everyday life because we have tables and we have computers and programs such as SPSS available to us for these calculations. So we do not usually manually use this formula to calculate, but we are just sharing here it for your own information and convenience. The important things to know about a normal distribution are its mean and standard deviation, which uniquely characterize it. So it is the thing on which actually the normal distribution depends, as you can see here. So this is the probability density, this is the standard normal distribution, and it depends on mean and standard deviation. So how to convert any distribution to a standard normal distribution? So any position along the x-axis can be expressed as a number of standard deviations from the mean. How it can be done? This distance is then standard normal deviate or normal score. And to do that, any normal distribution can be converted into standard format, and which has mean would be in the center, which is 0, and standard deviation 1, 2, 3, 4, or -1, -2. And how we calculate that? We calculate that by subtracting the mean from each observation and dividing by the standard deviation. So as you can see, to calculate the standard normal deviate, we need to know the standard deviation and the mean. So that is why I was already mentioning that for the standard normal distribution, mean and standard deviation are the two most important things. So how we calculate the probabilities in the normal distribution? So probabilities are obtained by calculating the area under the normal distribution curve between the two values, similar as we already discussed in the continuous distribution. So the method is pretty much the same. We calculate the area instead of the single bin or bar. Requires the use of calculus and can be done using a statistical package or special table. So it's better that you use a statistical package, and if you don't have that, use a special table. And to calculate the probabilities, we need to know the mean and standard deviation of the normal distribution that we are using. Once again, without that, we cannot calculate the probabilities in a normal distribution. So here we have a table which we can use to calculate the probability. So for example, if we subtracted the mean as we can see here, so if we subtract the mean from the observation, and we have a value divided by the standard deviation, and we have a value of, let's suppose, -0.1. So this is -0.1. So that -0.1 value would have the probability of 0.46 or 46%. So that is how we can calculate the probability using either a software, and as I showed you here, by using a standard normal distribution. So here we have a graph or the normal distribution and probability distribution, and here we are actually calculating the area to identify the distribution instead of just one number. So the probability that a value less than 0 is 0.5, and the probability that a value less than -2.0 is 0.23. So that's how we actually calculate it, by taking it as an area instead of a single bar or a single bin. It is the area to the left of x as shown. So this is the area that we are talking about. So the normal distribution is also tabulated using percentage points. The one-sided p percentage point of distribution is the value x such that the probability, there is a p% probability of an observation greater than or equal to x. Now this is one-sided. When we talk about two-sided, so there is a probability of p% of an observation being greater than or equal to or less than or equal to x. So here we can see two-tailed and single-tailed, just like hypothesis, we have single-tailed and two-tailed hypothesis. So that was all about continuous and normal distribution and how to calculate the distribution, calculate the probability in these distributions. And I hope you learned something new out of it. So keep on watching sqadia.com for more lectures like this. Thank you very much.